All the forestry that was done here before we owned this place was just phenomenal. Well laid out roads, things were thinned out nicely. There's no areas on the property that were clear cut. There were no buildings on the property. The road was barely passable. All the old dug wells were caved in. Could have been 40, 50, maybe even more than that years since somebody else actually lived back here. One of my early mentors that helped me get to this place was Jim Drescher, the owner of Windhorse Farm at that time. And he was just really instrumental in helping me cultivate a vision of a community-operated farm. And I had just never seen that sort of example of cooperation before. It really inspired me to want to create something similar. Ended up combining traditional farming background that my dad had with the community-run farming operation at Windhorse, and ended up creating this place. The property is about 150 acres. It's bordered on one side by Hebbs Mill Brook. It's got probably 12 acres of pasture, a solid 120 acres of woodland, mixed forest, mostly softwood. There's a lot of hemlock, spruce, a little bit of pine, lots of fir. All the lumber that we used to build those buildings was harvested from this property. From a young age, I was introduced to forestry and harvesting logs, milling lumber, farming, all of that. And luckily, all the role models that I've had have been incredible caretakers of the land. It was always the first priority to leave the farm, to leave the woodlot better than we found it, to work the land with that as our guiding principle. Which trees can I remove that are going to leave the stand better? When I'm harvesting firewood, saw logs, anything, I'm just always looking at that forest and saying, what is not here? What would I like to see here? My experience working with Nova Scotia Working Woodland Trust has been nothing but respectful, educational, just seeing the hard science that they use to sort of determine everything it is that they do. It's just so nice to have a technical team of advisors who just really know their stuff, are excited and enthusiastic to share that knowledge in like a real sort of dynamic way.
I've always had an interest in forestry. I look at myself more as a steward rather than an owner, as a protector. The restoration of a woodlot fit my personality.
Our trail is accessible from the main road. We have maps that we give people of the trail so they can walk or ski through the woodlot. And they're seeing things that Dawn has done, and they're beginning to understand what a managed woodlot looks like. We actually refer to it as Dawn's playground. The more people share nature, the more they will value it and protect it.
We saw the possibility that the trust could provide an option for a legacy for our family.
The whole concept of easement is becoming more and more clear to us as we go on.
Being a working woodland, it still gave the option for the next owners to be able to utilize woodland products.
And then we received the baseline documentation of the woodlot, and it was a continual learning experience. It was just a whole new way of looking at the land that we have been living on. It is really valuable, and it endures. It's a signed document of how we manage the land in conjunction with the trust. It's opening an understanding of the woodlot that we never had.
One of the biggest challenges for me is age. That the energy required in order to look after a property of around 230 acres. And there are many older woodlot owners that are in my age group and can no longer look after the property or pass away.
When they sell their woodlot, they have no control over what could happen to it. So you worry about our woodlots and whether they will endure. The Woodland Trust has put us in connection with so many people with such diverse skills and interests, and introducing us to various connections in the larger community in the province. that are doing some neat things around woodlots.
I think one of the biggest things that I'm excited about is the Forest Stewardship Management Plan. It's just been a tremendous resource to look at and say, well, maybe we want to consider doing this over here and that over there, and some of their ideas are things I've never thought about. Early March every year, we've got maybe 20 or 30 pots that we'll take out, and then the kids are usually responsible for drilling 1 or 2 holes in each maple tree, tap the spiles into the side of the tree, and then we just wait for it to start dripping. Some days you might have an entire pot of sap, some days you might go out and there's hardly anything in there, and we just sort of sit around the fireplace, keep it stoked all day long, and just keep the sap boiling. And then eventually, we end up with precious golden syrup. Every year we try and make sure that we have that iconic pancake breakfast with our own maple syrup on it. There's just something about the syrup that you made yourself, and to have that to look forward to, it's just super special. For my kids, they open their bedroom door, they walk outside, and they're in the middle of the forest. This has been their whole life. Hauling water, chopping wood, keeping the fire going, it's just the way that life is for them. It's been a lot of fun watching them have the freedom to explore their own creativity. If they want, they can learn how to build next to me while I'm building their cabin. If they want to learn how to make pottery with Melissa, she's here. And I just think there's something special about modeling the skills, modeling the lifestyle that you're creating for your children. The start that they've had here, give them a lifelong connection to nature, to animals. It's going to give them a confidence that I think that they'll just always carry with them in everything that they do. If I could describe life here in just a few words: peace, belonging, community, simplicity, regeneration. I'm also constantly grateful for the previous landowners who've been here over the last 100 years, none of which seemingly abused the forest land. Every person that comes to this property and walks this land, they just feel better. I want to keep that possibility for as many people as possible for as long as possible.
In the distant past, it was a man's world in the woods. My observation is there are many women involved in forestry now, and maybe this is a protecting influence that may pay off.
Life changes, things change, and knowing that no matter what happens to me or my family, that this place will continue to be a working woodland 50, 100 years into the future, is just tremendous peace of mind.